look, we are wanting to bring some holiday joy. We're kicking off the holiday season. And a couple years ago, we had the good fortune to speak with singer-songwriter Paul Williams, who was in town for the live stage production of his Christmas show, Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas. And I cry a lot in this. So grab a hanky if you feel like it. And here's our conversation with Paul Williams.
I'm going to take slow, deep breaths. He is a singer. I'm probably not even going to be able to get through this introduction. Oh, no. He is a singer, songwriter, author, a Grammy, Golden Globe, and Academy Award winner, and he was a fixture of my childhood, and he is now joining us on the phone. Mr. Paul Williams, welcome to the show.
He's delighted to be here. Thank you for the lovely, lovely introduction. It's fabulous to be here. Life is wonderful.
Well, we're delighted to have you.
Okay, yep, I am already tearing up right here, so I'm going to apologize.
Scott's younger than I am, Paul, so you're a fixture of my adulthood, but you're a fixture of his childhood. So.
Listen, I'm 83. I'm 83. I feel like a tired 34. I've never been more comfortable in my own skin, and more. I'm impressed with my ability to walk through these days with this Jiminy Cricket attitude that I have, while the world is just going to it's like I'm wearing a T-shirt that says I'm with the band, and it's got a stack of the books that have been banned, and it's just I have a solid position. I'm going to stay positive no matter what happens.
Good for you. We've got to do that in these dark times for sure.
I mean, look, here's the thing. I mean, you were Paul freaking Williams. Okay, I put up I posted on social media that I had the opportunity to chat with you, and people lost their minds. They were like, "Oh my gosh, please tell him that the Phantom of the Paradise is amazing. Please tell him that the carpet, his work with the Carpenters was incredible." Of course, the Muppets. I am the Jim Henson lover in me is going insane. Do you ever just sit back and go, whoa, I did that?
You know what? When I was drinking, I'm 33 years sober. When I was drinking, I was quite impressed with how bright I was, and I began to write from that really bright mind, and instead of from the center of the chest, that little kid's place that goes, "Oh God, pick me up and love me." Spent my life writing codependent anthems and everything, and then when I started to get successful, and when I began to, I always joked that alcohol made me big enough to feel like I was big enough to deal with the rest of the world, and cocaine made me feel like I could shoot basketball for money. And there's, when your confidence begins to drift into arrogance, what you begin to create begins to be really impressive to the person who thinks he's creating, and does not really connect with the world around you, because you're beginning to disconnect from that world. I will tell you, in sobriety, this is the longest answer hopefully you'll get from me today, but I have to tell you that at this point in my life, my name is on all those wonderful, wonderful projects. But I mean, if I backed up the influences and just that sense of where is this coming from? This is just all a gift. It's the stories. It's the essence of Jim Henson. It's handing me a book, that has this amazing story of Emmett Otter and his ma, and this kind of rewritten, retelling of the Gift of the Magi that is so magical that what I write for it just pours out of me. So I have a much healthier attitude about all this, and an ego, I think, a little more in check than it used to be. But what you're describing is what I call heart payment. Somebody comes up and says, "My mom was a single mom, and You and Me Against the World was an important song to us, for me and for Kenny." And I wrote that song with you. We go, "Oh God, thank you."
Aww.
Oh no, Paul Williams. Let me tell you, I remember sitting down. My mom. Okay, sorry. I had a single mom, and the two of us sat down and we watched Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas together, and it gave me all the feels. It's giving me all the feels right now. My husband It was just telling me about how he would watch Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas, and then he's from Mississippi, and he would go out into the woods, and he would literally just roam the woods as a little child singing the music comes through, and I know, like, oh my God, could you be any gayer? Like, that was just like the gayest thing on the planet. But it's like your music and your words have a profound effect on people. So let me interrupt and say two things. And this is not going to take hours and all, but I want to say two things. When you start crying, there's a part of my very essence that just reaches out, puts my arms around you and pulls you closer to me, because this is exactly what I need out of this world, is people with open hearts like that. That speaks so much about your strength to me. Aww. That speaks totally about your strength to me. And now I want to brag about this, the fact that this is out anything. In 1977, before my gay daughter was born, I took out a full-page ad against Anita Bryant in Daily Variety. I took out an ad that said, "Mr. and Mrs. Paul Williams, in response to Anita Bryant's crusade, have stopped drinking ... screwdrivers," which is made with orange juice.
Yes.
It was.
And when my daughter married her partner managed to find that ad, which my daughter didn't know about, and framed it and gave it to her. And it's on the wall between their bedroom and their kids' bedroom, my grandkids' bedroom. And so for me to be speaking to you, I want you to know that I come to you as feeling as if I'm being enfolded right now by part of my tribe, and I hope that I can always rise to be the kind of advocate that is desperately needed right now in this world.
You have a beautiful and open heart, and it's evident from the start by the kind of music you have and songs you have penned over the years. So you've put it out there for people, and people like Scott and so many in the world have felt your open heart, Paul. So we thank you for that.
Thank you. And I feel just right back.
Paul, you've written so many iconic songs in your prolific career. One of my very favorites is "We've Only Just Begun."
Yes!
And it has an amazing origin story. And I have a feeling a lot of our listeners don't know that story about how the Carpenters ended up turning it into one of the all-time great pop songs of our lifetimes. Can you share that origin story of "We've Only Just Begun"?
I love talking about Karen and Richard. I mean, they changed my world. I started writing in 1967 with a guy named Roger Nichols. I met him through another guy named Biff Rose. Roger and I started writing for about 4 years. We wrote songs that were recorded. They were album cuts. They were B-sides. We never heard anything on the radio. I mean, it was like, are we ever going to hear it? And, when you're in your 20s, 3 years is like a lifetime. So it's like, oh, God, that's it. We were making a great living. Nobody knew who we were. And all of a sudden, one day, there's a knock on Roger's office door. We have both had offices at A&M Records. And it's Herb Alper, and he says, "I want to introduce you to A&M's newest recording artist, Herb. These are the Carpenters, Richard and Karen." And they looked at us and they said, "Oh my God, we love your recording of Trust by the Peppermint Trolley Company. And Steve Lawrence's Drifter is great." It's like they knew, and we were like, "Oh my God, we're famous. We're famous. Somebody actually knows who we are." And that was the beginning of our relationship. And Roger and I wrote a song that was on the B-side of Close to You, but it was the B-side. It was not the single. And we desperately, anything we wrote, we would want to show to Karen and Richard to get to your story about. We've Only Just Begun had all the romantic beginnings of a bank commercial. Roger and I were writing, and a friend of his was a great lyricist named Tony Asher. Tony Asher wrote the lyrics that God Only Knows for Brian Wilson. A great writer.
Great song.
And Tony had the job to write this song for a commercial that was very different. There was no pitch. It was just going to show a young couple getting married, driving off into the sunset after the ceremony. The kiss, the ceremony, driving off into the sunset, and it said, "You got a long way to go. We'd like to help you get there." The Crocker Bank. Tony Asher went out and went skiing and broke his hand. He was on pain pills. He said, "I'm loopy. I can't do this. I recommended you and Roger." And I said, "I don't want to write a bank commercial." Roger said, "Come on, let's try." I said, "I don't want to write a bank commercial." He said, "There's a creative fee." I said, "Let's write this bank commercial."
Yeah.
And of course, so we wrote probably in an afternoon. I think it took us maybe a couple hours. He came up with the music, and I wrote the lyrics. And we completed it as a complete song just in case anybody was going to want to record it. Understand at the time the number one album in the country was Inagata Davida. So this was not a song that was probably going to get recorded. This was not a song that was ever going to be a single, and this was certainly not a song that was going to be a major hit. And that all changed when An Angel sang it, because Richard recognized my voice on the commercial, called and said, "Is there a complete song?" We said, "Yeah, funny you should ask." And when they recorded it, and when we heard it the first time, oh my God, we looked at each other and went, "Is anybody else going to hear how beautiful this is, what we're hearing?" And it turned out that everybody
they
did.
sure
it was
did.
A life changer. Oh my God.
And still do, still do to this day. It's a wonderful song. Thank you for that song, Paul.
Oh, I know. Thank you for all the music. We have been sitting here listening to the past week. We have just been on a Paul Williams kind of overload, especially as we're getting ready for heading into the holidays here in Chicago with Emmett Otter's jug band Christmas. Now, you had worked with Jim Henson, I believe, on The Muppet Show, and then you had an opportunity to write the music, the words of the music for Emmett Otter's jug band Christmas. Is that how that collaboration began?
Yeah, exactly. I showed up in England to do the first season of The Muppet, and it was like I was a huge fan. I mean, from every morning on the road with my band, we'd watch Sesame Street, and Bert and Ernie taught us which forks to look to use. I was a huge fan, and I mean a fan of Jim's all the way back to the Ed Sullivan Show with the Slinkies and the Mana and all that. Yeah. But I never, there's a tree house in Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas, and the kids are up, the guys, the jug band is practicing up in that tree, and I never had a tree house experience as a kid until I met Jim Henson. And when I walked on the set of the Muppet movie, and I met all the guys, all the Muppet performers, it was like all of a sudden I'm in the tree house. The level of humor is amazing. The hearts are open and large and accepting, and it was just wow. And Jim asked me, he handed me the book of Emmett Otter, and he said, "There's a script being written right now. We're going to do a 1-hour special. Would you write the songs, words and music?" And I did. And it's interesting because the songs are very Americana, and it's not really what I was writing, but the story spoke to me. Jim's energy is in anything and everything I've written that had anything to do with the Muppets, including the Muppet Christmas Carol, which was written. I wrote words and music for that after Jim had passed. But he is absolutely in every word. I feel his presence.
Oh. And
Paul, look at the birds up the tree. We're not birds. We're a jug band.
Scott forgot to mention something. You buried the lead. Scott, tell Paul what you named your dog.
Oh, my dog is named Emmett Otter.
That was one of the first things shared with me when I heard about it today. I said, "Oh my God, that's wonderful." Well,
yeah,
and I wound up with guinea pigs because they look so much like otters. I get it.
I love it. I love it.
Emmett?
So. He's great. He's in a jug band. He's doing it. He's doing a good job.
What could be wrong? He's in a jug band.
I know. When we got him, he was kind of pancakey and slinky against the sides of the wall, and he's so very sweet and so very earnest. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're Emmett Otter. So that's where it came from. Like, again, my husband wants me to personally thank you for Where the River
that's wonderful.
Meets the Sea. It's such wonderful. Music, and this is.
it's what I call a heart payment. To find out that, that you're petting somebody named Emmett every day, it's a heart payment. I love it.
It is. I love that.
Okay, so I'm holding it together. So as you are transitioning, because it was this amazing, clearly had a profound effect on me as a child, you're taking this beloved television special and adapting it for the stage. Have there been any challenges, or was that more for, like, I guess the puppeteers? Because, like, you're like, my songs are golden. There we go.
Well, it's interesting because I get this feeling sometimes in just my life in general that somebody's whispering to us every now and then. It's just this just began with Tim McDonald, who loved Emmett Otter and always believed that it should be it would make a great stage musical. A few additional songs and with humans playing in the puppet roles, but also having the original Muppets and all there. So he loved the idea, and he also loved Chris Catelli's work, and was a big fan of Chris, and he invited Chris to lunch, and he sat down, and he said, I'd love to do something with you. Is there anything that you'd really love to do that you haven't done? And he said, Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas, and it was like, boing, the sun came out, and all of a sudden, I had a bit of a background with the Goodspeed Theater because I've been doing developing Happy Days, a musical with Gary Marshall at the Goodspeed, and it just seemed to fall into place. And we did a couple Christmases in a row up at the Goodspeed, and then then it finally made it to New York. And when it made it to New York in 2020, it had grown up to be a really wonderful staged musical. And we had it's like I couldn't have written better reviews. God bless the New York Times and everybody that saw it said all these wonderful things. And of course, like everybody else, we got closed by COVID. Mm-hmm. The actors, I never saw. I'm so sad. Oh. I never saw it in New York because I was in my hotel room testing positive every day for about 2 weeks, and by the time I was negative, they closed it. So this is the first time I've seen it since the Goodspeed is here at the Studebaker, which is a great place to see it.
Do you have a favorite moment in Emmett Otter?
Well, there's this spiritual presence of Otter, who is not in the original. They talk about Paul Otter and Paul's favorite song, "When the River Meets the Sea," and all, and there are two moments in the musical that are really special to me. One is when they, at the end of it, and not to give anything away, does anyone who haven't seen it, but right. when Ma and Emmett both enter a contest trying to buy presents in New York, beautiful Christmas presents for each other, and they lose. Walking back, there is this wonderful moment when two things occur. One is that they realize that the two songs that they've been singing work really beautifully together, and they sing them together and get hired as the Doc Bullfrog's Tavern.
Doc Bullfrog.
So I love that moment of how no becomes a gift, which has been solid in my life. And the other thing is when the river meets the sea, it will always have such a special meaning for me because right after the Muppet movie, Jim passed and they performed "When the River Meets the Sea" at his memorial, and it's just a song that is about just the gifts of Jim Henson's life and all the philosophy and the caring and the elegance of kindness that is the thing that survives, I think, most powerfully in Jim's memory. So those moments are really seriously, and there's actually a song now that I've added to the score that the ghost of Paul Otter sings to Alice when she's thinking to herself that you're just a foolish old dreamer. And he sings, "Alice, keep dreaming. I'm right here beside you. I'm close as the sun when it's warm in your fur. I'm with you in spirit. When the wind blows, you'll hear it, whispering Alice, my own. Keep the faith, girl, you're never alone. I hope you'll come and see it. Your listeners will come and see it, because it's one of my favorite moments ever to have that spirit, which feels absolutely like Jim Henson. And did I make anybody cry?
Yeah, Scott's crying, and I'm about to cry.
Gosh, I'm a mess over here.
This show is perfect.
I love you, Paul.
This show is perfect for these times. It really is. This is what we need. A show like this.
Oh, lovely. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
True. And thank you for carrying on the legacy of the elegance of kindness.
Yes.
And thank you for the music, and thank you for the love. And several people have also been like, thank you for being so open about your road with recovery and sobriety. You really have been a guidepost for so many people, and you've touched so many folks.
Oh, I'm nothing but grateful, and Scott, I'm nothing but grateful, and I think that the gratitude and generosity are fuel. I think if anybody feels like their life is a little bogged down, go out and do something in service to another human being and watch everything get better.
Amen to that, Paul.
There you go. Amen to that. All right. I'm going to pull myself together so I can get this outro. Make sure that you check out Emmett Otter's Chuck Bank Christmas at Chicago's historic Studebaker Theater. It's running through December 31st. It officially opens tomorrow, so break a tail. It features songs by the legendary Paul Williams. If you want to find out, get some tickets, go to fineartsbuilding.com/Studebaker. Paul Williams, again, thank you so much for just making my day.
It's a
you guys are like, come and say hi. Just come and come and grab me by the nape of the neck and say, come here and give me a big hug. I really look forward to it.
I will, but I've got COVID.
He's got COVID. He's not in the studio. But
oh my God!
Are you going to be in town for a little, or are you just going to be here for tomorrow?
I'm going. I actually just spent this weekend. I just got back. I was here. I spent the weekend in Berkshire at a museum where they did a retrospective. I'm going to go home to Huntington Beach for about a week and everything. I'll be back, I think, on the 6th. I'll be here for about 5 days with my kids and grandkids coming in to see it as well. So hopefully you'll be testing negative by then and can come and we can say hi and break bread or something.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh my gosh, that's great. I'll give you my number, Paul. Can I call you Paul?
Okay. Yeah, you know what? You've got my number, and please use it. Shoot me a text, and I'll get you all the contact information.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Oh my gosh,
he will love that.
Here. All right, Paul Williams, go and be magical.
Thank you, Paul Williams. We love having you with us.
I love you all. You have made my day. God bless.
God bless you too.
God bless you
Thanks,
too.
Paul.
All right, make sure again. Emmett Otter's Chuck Bank Christmas is playing at the Studebaker Theater. Paul Williams. Thank you.